upcoming, we got a special segment I want to talk about today.
Very important.
It's very important, especially considering since the weather is changing. A lot of people, they are running their furnaces. I go into inspections, people are running their stoves, especially older people. Older people, their body temperature is not like ours, so they tend to stay cold most of the time. And I want to talk about a very serious topic, that's smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. Millions of people die yearly because people have failed to, first of all, keep their smoke detectors installed. So we're going to talk about smoke detectors, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about carbon monoxide detectors, the importance of it, especially considering since when I was young, I was in a fire when I stayed in Harvey on Turlington, and it was a horrific thing to be woke out your sleep because the building's on fire. So one of the things I want to let people understand, especially coming from the Section 8 point of view, that as an inspector, when we go into houses, that smoke detectors are important. Now, what we require, we require that smoke detectors are on each level of the house. So you got a second floor, you got the first floor and the basement. We require that the smoke detectors are on each level of the house. And understanding that fires, they spread rapidly. It takes about 3 seconds for a fire to spread. So we require them on each level of the house. They have to be what we call the common areas. We like them in your hallways. If you have a basement, we want it in the ceiling by the bottom step. Okay, so understanding, I go into a lot of houses when we go in there, and we go into a house and the smoke detector's not up, well, we do what we call a 24-hour emergency inspection. So that means I got to come back out the next day to make sure that you have installed the smoke detectors in your home. And unfortunately, a lot of times you go there, you can't find the remotes. People that took them out and put them in the game system. People want to play their Xbox games. They put them in the remote controls, or they use it, for the television because they want to turn the TV. So instead of them going out to buy batteries, they just, use those for recreational purposes. Make sure you get good batteries also. Good batteries, you want to get some Duracells or some good Energizers, because a lot of times, like I said, I go into people's houses, it's chirping. They're like, well, Inspector Hill, I just installed some batteries. And then I'll be like, okay, what kind of batteries you had? And they some off-brand dollar store batteries. I said, well, that's why they're chirping, because you need to put some good quality batteries in there. So in the ceiling, and you want to keep them at least 15 feet from your stoves. And that's because you hear a lot of times people keep saying, well, I took it down because it kept going off every time I cook. Well, you want to keep them 15 feet away from your stoves. That's why they keep going off. So understanding the importance of having smoke detectors in your house, make sure they're not laying on the top of the refrigerator. They need to be installed. And you need to change your batteries every time daylight savings time comes. So right now we got time goes back this Sunday. So you want to make sure that you're installing your batteries, and when time springs forward, you want to change them again. So that's normally the rule of thumb for that there, for our smoke detectors. Another thing, carbon monoxide detectors. Carbon monoxide detectors are a silent killer. They kill you in your sleep. Okay, I think it was an incident, I don't know if it was last year or year before last, when the man and his kids, I think it was like 8 of them, died because carbon monoxide poisoning. So the rule of thumb for carbon monoxide detectors, we keep them. We require that they are 15 feet from your sleeping areas. Now your sleeping areas is considered your bedrooms. Also, living rooms are considered sleeping areas. Also, by fossil burning fuels. Your fossil burning fuels are your furnaces. So down in your basement where your furnaces are, we require that you have a smoke detector. A carbon monoxide detector, close to the fossil burning fuels. Understanding this also, one thing about smoke detectors, smoke rises. Carbon monoxide detectors, even though you got the systems now with the combinations that people install, understanding that also carbon monoxide, it falls, it goes to the ground. So a lot of times you go into houses, you notice that the carbon monoxide detectors is by the bottom toward the floor, because carbon monoxide, unlike smoke, goes up, it normally falls down. So understanding this stuff is very important. Every year, especially around this time, you see a lot on the news about fires and health and safety and people losing their lives. This stuff is serious. And a lot of times we think it won't happen to us, but it can happen to you. Like I said, carbon monoxide detectors are a silent killer. It kills you in your sleep. Smoke, it only takes 2 to 3 seconds for a fire to spread, and before you know it, it's all spread throughout the house.
Yeah, I think it's a senseless death when it's something you could have prevented because you wanted to switch your batteries out to the game and you never paid attention to it, or you got tired of the annoying sound that, you know, the alarms make because it needs attention. So if your alarm is buzzing, it needs attention and you should pay attention to it, because you do hear about it on the news, carbon monoxide deaths, and you hear about fires. You know, these are some of the things that could be prevented. So why not just take the time out? It's a very serious thing, and you know, you don't pay attention sometimes until things happen. But we're giving you a heads up. This is something you can prevent right now. As soon as you turn your television off, you can go check your batteries and see what's going on in your own home to prevent this from happening.
Yes, and last but not least, even like we do housing inspection and I'm gonna come from a Section 8 point of view. I go into a lot of homes where the owners, you know, now a lot of ADT systems, they do provide smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, which is fine. But we require still, even if you have an ADT system, that you have physical smoke detectors and carbon. Because what if you decide you don't want to pay your bill to keep your alarm system connected?
Right.
So now if you don't have your alarm system connected, guess what? You have no more smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector, because that was part of the ADT system.
Right.
So that's why we still require that you physically have them despite you having an ADT system, because if that system goes out, you're unprotected. So realize that there, and I tell a lot of owners that, they're like, well, we got ADT in here. That doesn't matter. According to HUD and Section 8, we require that even if you do have an ADT system that has a smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector connected to that system, you still are required to physically have a smoke detector and carbon on each level, 15 feet from bedrooms, that the tenants not only are protected, but owners also. So understanding this stuff is serious, it is real. Don't play with your life because you were too cheap to go down there to the dollar store to get some Duracells or Energizer, and you chose pleasure over your life. And then unfortunately some of your loved ones have to bury you, and then you want to sue everybody and their mama because you failed to take the proper precautions to protect you and your family. So understand that this stuff is important. Make sure you have your smoke detectors and carbons up and ready to go this winter. Thank you for tuning in to Contemporary Living special segment with Andre Hill and my beautiful host, Melissa Lee Farmer.
Bye-bye.
Teenage on the track.